Geography is the science of our world, and it's a way to integrate all kinds of information and also interconnect the various sciences, the ologies, geology and climatology and sociology. They all come together with location. And integrating this information today in the modern age is a wonderful tool called GIS that allows us to not only abstract geographic information, but also apply it in various ways. It brings together or integrates data from different institutions and allows us to overlay it and see it in combination. It therefore can connect us. It can help us model and visualize what's going on and provide us a platform for understanding. Today we live in a time where from top down with remote sensing and bottom up, various kinds of information, geographic information, are becoming digital. And we can see the world in whole new ways. These are a few examples. GIS itself, as a fundamental technology, allows us to bring these measurements together, all kinds of measurements from the field, from spacecraft, from everywhere, and organize it in a database. It allows us to set up a process of measuring, visualizing, and then analyzing the information, like overlaying it and bringing it together. And then it's a platform for being able to plan and do designs and decision-making, and finally take it to action. There's an old saying called understanding precedes action. It was invented by Richard Saul Wurman, the founder of TED. And he saw that GIS is a kind of understanding language that supports all kinds of developing activities, particularly relevant to all of you here in the audience. And GIS is being already adopted and applied by the World Bank and by aid and by thousands of organizations around the world to support the idea of geo-enabling the development project life cycles. The applications provide the evidence of this, and sometimes they're sectorial, things like being able to organize the land cadastre and look at taxable properties. Sometimes they're integrated, being able to look at the environment, look at housing, look at combining factors to look at possible risks like disasters, and many of these you know conceptually. Behind this work are institutions, GIS professionals, actually millions of them that build these analytics and maps. And in the last year, they've been standing up systems to respond to COVID-19. They've stood up dashboards like the famous dashboard by Johns Hopkins, which have been viewed by literally half of the population of the world billions of times, actually trillions of times. And then there's the analytic framework of what GIS delivers. It has allowed us to forecast ICU beds and available staff and resources and target those hospitals effectively. And now it's very actively being used in dissemination of vaccines around the world. Spatial frameworks are valuable because they allow us to bring together information. And these GISs on the internet, when they're connected to the internet, allow us to build new partnerships. Our problems in the world are essentially problems that can be solved through partnerships. And here's agency to agency, country to country, organization to organization. Private and public partnerships, all types, can be brought together in interesting ways by using geography as a way to interconnect our information. What's emerging is something called geospatial infrastructure. This is the interconnection of all these separate web services sites through portals that can then be made available to support millions of organizations, and millions of users and organizations of all types. And this involves sharing, being open to partnerships, being open to the idea that collaboration and trust can create a better world in the future. Now, the UN and the various member states are leveraging this infrastructure, this kind of architecture, for doing the SDG Hub Network. Different countries have stood up separate servers, and they're sharing their information about the SDGs through an open portal. And this is open and transparent for many people to view. This will support global monitoring and reporting as we have heard from the UN and the member countries, is desirable and a big goal. And NGOs are also participating. Many of you know Jeffrey Sachs and his organization called the Sustainable Development Solution Network, or SDSN. They're participating in building a SDG data in real-time network. And this is very powerful because it means we can open up and see government as well as nonprofit as well as private sector information holistically, something that geography uniquely delivers. This allows us to prioritize goals about food, goals about racial inequity or all kinds of inequity, and goals about being able to make cities more sustainable and agriculture more sustainable and forest management more sustainable, and on, the basic goals of SDGs. I'm very happy about GIS. It's starting to be recognized in a whole new way. It started by doing little GIS projects, locating a city, locating a facility. Then it moved into information systems for managing systems of record, things like cadastral records or forestry records. What's occurring today is all these separate systems are becoming interconnected, interconnecting people and orgs, and interconnecting their information, making it accessible, creating whole new orders of understanding. Now, this isn't some academic thing. This is something that's very practical. People in the field can collect data now. Farmers in the field can have access to information that they never could have before. They can also do science over the web. It can be simplified and made available for everyone. So, ladies and gentlemen, those of you active in development, and you certainly are the network that supports this effort globally, are beginning to see that this kind of science-based, data-based information can support advancement and create a better world. So thank you. Appreciate the opportunity.